And so the button has been pushed.
What
Hi.
the buck is up, every pony?
Welcome back to Hell and Back for probably nobody who's watching, but it's still recorded. So hi. Welcome if you're
Hey,
watching this
we
in the
got that
future.
one guy from Indonesia who chimes in every single time. He's great.
It's true. It's true. He's our very own little plony. There you go. So while I post this here, does anybody want to do the last time on
Yeah.
the thing? And then I can kind of chime in with any misremembered details. Sure.
All right. So last time, on to Hell and Back. We had just got done speaking with the Bannermains in Dakalai, and we determined that we needed to go back and get the fiendish chickens that we foolishly left behind on the road. We travel there. We find out that the chickens are gone, but a fiendish devil character who resembles a farmer is out there looking for his chickens. We speak to him and find out that he needs to get those chickens back, and that every time during this part of the year when the Persians make their pilgrimage, gateways start opening up from his realm into ours. It's very common, and so he's used to it. But this time, the gateway happened right over his chicken coop, and so now his chickens are gone. We are searching for his chickens because he will likely find us a way to get back to hell, which is exactly where we need to go to save our family members. We go in and we search. He travels with us, and we manage to make it to oh yeah, we were traveling through like Lowestoft. We made a quick stop there. People were very weirded out by us, and we determined that it would take too long to build a boat to go over the lake to Belmare. So we went all the way around, made it through Owlsbury, circled all the way around to Belmare. Belmare is an aristocratic city. Everybody there is wealthy or the slave of someone incredibly wealthy. We are passed off as slaves to not little Phoenix, little Sphinx.
Thanks.
Yes, little Sphinx is able to talk our way in, and when we get there, we find the person who is holding the chickens, and there was a not a MacGuffin, but something very valuable inside of their cart. Mimily, would you help us out?
It wasn't necessarily something valuable, at least in terms of like direct, so, like it's not shiny, it's not something like that. But you guys kind of searched through the thing and found what looks to be, well, a picture of the person who owned the cart. That seems to be an old family photo with and like it's kind of like one of those like black and white photos on the neck of what might be a parental figure in the photo. Seems to be adorned a necklace very similar to the one that he himself wears. And that was the last ending detail of the session last time.
How fancy. But do we recognize any of these people?
I mean, you're free to give me a society check if you'd like to see that, but I mean, initially without a roll, no. I mean, they don't really ring a bell. If you try to recall it, perhaps you might.
Call knowledge. Who does that?
Yeah, it's gathering information,
What?
so blind if you
I mean,
did.
not me, with my +2 total.
What kind of knowledge?
Society.
Society.
Or a valid
I
lore
think I've
skill
got
if you
that.
have
Let
one.
me try. Aha. Or what kind of skill?
Or a valid lore skill if you have one.
Academia lore?
I don't think that would necessarily...
Farming!
Okay, I will roll society.
Yeah, society sounds like the shoe-in check for this one.
Yup. Dr. Orion, you do not recall who these people might be. It's kind of a mystery.
I have no idea who they are. I've never bitten them before.
Though, I will give you this. Your society roll would instead, and start answer actually, would give you guys the little bit of knowledge about a society here is that, I mean, a lot of Persians in this area have very fancy necklaces that they pass down through their family.
I mean, as much as Little Spout is all about getting things done, taking a random person's random picture doesn't really feel like her thing. She's just gonna put it back down.
The Belmare, which you had scared away, seems to still be like kind of peeking around the corner, looking at you guys from across the way. You guys kind of scared her away from the cart, saying that you were gonna do the thing, but she's just kind of across the block. She's poking her head out. She's kind of looking
Orion
a little
starts.
grossly.
Orion sniffs in her general direction.
All right.
You
Well, Little Spot has relinquished her picture, and now she is commanding the others in imperious tones. All right, let's get this moving.
And Orion will jump off the cart, stand next to Little Sphinx.
And we will attempt to park it where it appears that it needs to be parked.
Aha. Well, by the looks of the other ponies and, the other bell mares who are actually, like, pulling carts, strangely enough, all of the ones that are doing a lot of this manual work are all female ponies, doing most of the busy work around. The ones that are pulling away carts seem to just be taking it to what seems to be a very nicely shaded little parking area. In the side
We
of the
found the
building.
parking lot.
Yeah. How fancy. It's even got like a cobble paved spot, and there does seem to be one area perfectly sized for the cart that you guys currently have. It would just fit right there, effectively.
We place it gently.
I take it you guys are making Steady Shoot pull the cart, yes?
Why? Just because he's big?
I assume. I don't think Little Sphinx would be able to pull.
I don't think it's polite to pigeonhole the barbarians.
I mean, Little Sphinx the one giving the command, so it'd be kind of weird if Little Sphinx then proceeded to strap herself into it and started moving. It's like, wait, what's going on?
All right, Little Sphinx, who do you command to park the cart?
I mean, she just spoke it in general, as if you're all supposed to just, get to work.
All right, everybody, park the cart all together now.
All right,
Steady, parks the cart.
Kind of imagine that Orion just starts trying to push the cart, and then Steady Shoot just kind of straps himself in, pulls the cart, and makes it look like Orion feels like he's pushing the cart. He's like, "I'm doing."
I mean, Orion is probably about as strong as Steady is, so Orion would probably succeed at that.
You get a little bit of a boost then, huh? The cart is parked, and as you park it, a number of the actual other occupants and other bell mares are kind of looking at you all a little funny, kind of tilting their head a little bit. Tilt.
And little Sphinx will continue to just not care about their opinions.
Remind me why we're doing this.
As she just struts off like she owns the place.
Ryan will lean up close to Steady and he'll say, "Chickens, we're here for the chickens." Speaking of which, Ryan will start scratching at the ground and smelling the dirt to see if he can pick up the scent of a fiendish chicken.
Well, there is no dirt on this this walkway, actually. Every single surface on the ground seems to be paved and cobbled.
Wait a minute. He keeps scratching. They swept this road. How am I supposed to track anything if I can't pick up the scent? They just keep cleaning everything as people walk by.
Your farmer friend kind of scratches his head. Well, shoot! They're real fancy here. He kind of looks down.
Little Sphinx turns to regard her companions. Don't make us look like we're country bumpkins. Of course they sweep things. And she gives a very aristocratic chortle.
Just like that?
Yes, pretty much.
As you give your posh from down the road, you hear almost as if, like how in Finding Nemo, when one says mine, the rest go mine, 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 right? You hear a couple other chortles throughout the street.
Hey,
no, that's a mating call.
Let's try to be praised.
Or scolded, possibly both.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we go now?
The farmer is kind of looking up a little bit. He seems to be reading the sign. He squints at it. Well, shoot, this place looks mighty fancy. Think that'll let us in here? He looks up toward the building, which aptly reads, "The Cactus Bloom."
Is it a tavern?
It seems to be some sort of, resort or hotel or something like that. Several different stories stack up on top of each other, and the top, what looks to be some sort of penthouse.
Ooh.
That's fancy.
I know.
Quite possibly too fancy.
Pretty much.
And, you know, to boot, in terms of its fanciness, you can see a number of guards still fluttering around the place, guarding, you know, I mean, the upper levels and things like that. And, I mean, you do see a couple of them actually, like, scold down a couple who start flying too high.
I get close to Little Sphinx and I say, well, we need to find these chickens, and if we just stand around here, they're going to keep staring at us and start questioning what we're doing.
Little Sphinx gives a subtle nod.
I still don't think that we were trying to find the chickens.
This is correct. You guys were tracking the cart originally. And
Right, and the reason why we were tracking the cart is because we were wondering if it had the stone that makes portals in it.
We have found 0 stones with 0 portals.
Mhm.
Yes. So that's what we're looking for. We're not we left the chickens and the farmer was like, "Yeah, they're fine. They'll be fine."
This is fine.
The stone of which you're looking for is a very dark stone, one that you guys, I believe, had recognized, or I guess lore skilled before as Aetherstone, and also that Star Dancer has numerous notes on. The stone that matches the type of stone that's in the necklace in that photo.
So are we here to steal a necklace instead of stealing chickens?
Well, I mean,
we just want stones. We don't care if they're
we don't
or not.
Yeah. Ideally, they would not be in a necklace.
That'd be even better.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wouldn't be stealing some
Little
random.
Sphinx shall look towards the ones that have chortled along with her.
They don't pay you any mind. They just keep talking amongst themselves.
Of course, it's only appropriate.
Talk
But
amongst yourselves.
she shall wander in their general direction, and she shall give an exasperated sigh. My servants are feeling especially useless today. Could you tell me where to find the gems? You know, the ones that let people jump around from place to place. You know the one.
Says the one that you speak to, who kind of looks left and right before realizing you're small and looking down. Oh, why are you looking for gems, oh little one? If your servants aren't obeying you, get yourself a new bellmare.
Oh, that is very tempting. And if they don't fix their game, that's exactly what I'm going to do, she says, somewhat threateningly.
She
To the
pulls
people
up,
that heard nothing.
she pulls up a monocle and kind of adjusts it slightly, looking toward the ones you are gesturing as servants, and squints. Oh, and not a single gal. She shakes her head. It's no wonder your servants are so bad.
I apologize. This reflects poorly on me, she says, looking stricken.
I would have a word with the person who sold you these. They clearly don't have your best interests at heart.
Well, they won't have my money either, she says, somewhat exasperatedly.
Well, if you are looking for a better one, she kind of gestures actually to the cactus bloom. I hear a certain Persian might know a certain someone who can hook you up with a good pair. And smiles.
Little Spout shall give a polite smile back. Please, I will keep that in mind. Such excellent advice. Do you have any such lovely tips for jewels, though? That they would really soothe my aches this evening. That's really all I need.
Jewels and gems, you say? She says as she brushes across her neck, and you see pulling from her very elaborate outfit a couple different necklaces of her own, which kind of adorn each other. Different blings, and she's definitely trying to one up you in a sense.
She's succeeding.
Yeah. She seems to be kind of comparing it roughly to your staff, your little little staff that you have. She kind of pokes at it a little bit. If you were looking for a better one, for some gems for this, to perhaps spice it up, I would go talk to perhaps a tradesman in the town over. Or at the very least, perhaps somebody at the docks, though, she says, kind of tapping her chin. If I am not too mistaken, trades at the moment are currently halted due to some unfortunate events with the clockworks.
Oh, if it's not one thing, it's another, she says, sounding very entitled.
Positively, isn't it? And she shakes her head. Shake, 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 shake.
She throws up a hand.
His
Well, I will take care of what I can take care of. And hopefully our inferiors will get their acts together. And she turns away.
It's honestly quite astounding just how well the little Sphinx fits into this society.
Yeah,
I-
it's a little bit.
I mean, I'm trying to roleplay the
It's
fact that I
great.
have a master of deception.
It's so good. Like it's not even like it's not even a diplomacy rolling thing. Like you're just kind of having really funny conversations with them, and it's just going. It's
But yes, I mean, Little Sprout actually is a master of deception and diplomacy. I try to roleplay that.
Oh yes.
Like she gets her part. She plays the part.
Well, your guys' quote master returns to you looking prissy as ever.
And she
Orion
gestures
holds out
away.
So, did you find it?
Yes, I found something. Come on, let's get out of here. She's trying to nudge the group along. Nudge.
Group is being nudged. Where are you nudging them to, Little Spout?
Where are you nudging us to?
To the docks.
The docks. You guys.
Or at least in that direction, because then I assume we will leave the snooty people behind if we actually start talking. And that is when she points out, okay, so they're having trouble with some clockwork, which I'm told this is a really good place to shop for, gems and stuff. And so we're probably going to have to fix the clockwork thing. God. Last child to be praised. There's always something in the way. Says
If it isn't one thing, it's another thing.
Little Sphinx, who is entirely fallen out of character.
If it isn't one thing, it's another thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And
Gotta stop the time loops. Gotta find the chickens. Gotta solve the chicken problems. Gotta
Oh,
save.
no, not the chicken problem.
Drag slaves from one town to another because they can't handle them.
it is
Also, all of a sudden, the study shoot is hugged by a small pony. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. That was all just part of, the act. I think you're
It's
awesome.
all right.
She flops
Orion also
back to
gets-
her hers. Bloop.
At least at least every time we go somewhere, we're helping someone, so that's nice.
true. It is incredibly true. And as you guys
That's the neutral good coming out.
Ooh, how fancy.
Ooh.
Fancy indeed.
Well, in this place, you guys make your way over to the docks, and contrary to being over by the ocean, there's no sea salty smell to this place. At least not until you get actually somewhat closer, which is strange. This is supposed to be an oasis, and as you do get closer and closer, it does start to smell more and more like the sea, rather than a freshwater source.
That is unusual.
And going over to the docks, you do see already a bunch of, well, not necessarily activity. At least not dock activity. The people going up and down the docks themselves seem to be in clerical garms, going up, down, seemingly surveying and making sure that boats and things like that stay docked. Talking to some of the clockworks and things like that. You see a couple of them direct them away from their boats, keeping them tied to the docks before resuming some sort of a patrol. Though it doesn't seem like any other actual guards are in sight of the area.
Does Little Spout see any clockwork?
Yes, actually, a majority of the people who seem to be around the boats, or at least maybe owning them, are actually clockworks. And the boats themselves that are actually stationed at different ports do seem to be steampunkish in their design, with giant steam towers, at least one or two on some boats, protruding from the top, alluding to their function, which is normally a sign that, yeah, these are definitely clockwork contraptions.
Orion is thoroughly impressed. He has his book out and he is scribbling down notes and drawing quick diagrams of what he sees as we're moving.
Scribble, 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 scribble.
Scribble, 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 you two scribble.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
What did we do with the stolen cart we had? The cart we had
parked it.
strong armed?
Yeah, we parked it.
Yeah.
We just left it there and then walked away?
We
Yeah.
parked it where it's supposed to be parked.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it had a specific place to be. We put it there.
That's
We
true,
didn't even
and then
take
I
anything
guess-
from it.
yeah,
All
yeah.
we
then
did
I
was
guess-
delay it getting parked by
and
a minute.
menace the person handling it.
Yes, I'm sure they came along later and went, "Oh God, thank God it's here."
They were
I
spying. They were
won't be
spying.
beaten and then fired.
If you remember, they were spying on us. They were watching, be like, "What's going on?" And we just like talk to people a little bit and then leave.
Yeah, pretty much. Although we did put it away like we said we would.
Yes.
Can I have a perception check from the lot of you?
Yeah.
Oh no, perception
Oh,
checks. I assume
no.
Just a-
blind.
Yes.
Just a quick wait, what the heck? With this bewildering turn of events.
Yeah. And I see 3 so far. Yeah, there's the 4th. I believe you have 1.
That was not blind.
I
you
think
fool.
I think I clicked initiative button instead.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't blind either because initiative is never blind.
Well, it's perfectly fine because all of you noticed this anyway, which was the fact that all of these clerical outfitted ones seem to have some sort of fancy gold badge pinned upon their robe.
Do we have any idea what that badge is?
No, it certainly looks like a Bannerman's badge, that's for sure.
No.
Friends
I
of
mean,
yours steady?
Possibly yay.
Friends of yours steady?
These were people in Bannerman items.
Yes.
It does seem to be. The badges that are pinned upon their chests steady you would recognize as a singular palm tree.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I say, friend might be stretching it, but seem to get along with most of them. So something a little else.
Mm-hmm. And they don't seem to be paying you any mind because you guys aren't necessarily like, going up to any of the boats or anything like that. But this is the
Right.
information that you guys see upon coming to the docks, and I suppose also percept, given that, I mean, it smells salty around here, like salt water.
Okay.
Little spout, so nudge her large friend. But you're with them. Go say hello. You're in charge now.
I'm just gonna say these people obviously have way too much money if they're teleporting boats from the sea onto a freshwater lake just for instead of traveling over land.
That's
That
that's
means
true.
they have the shares we need.
Well, is the lake? We've been near. Have we been near the lake before?
You guys haven't actually come up to the edge of it, no.
Like not as close as this. So it could be a saltwater body, an inland saltwater.
Orion jumps into the water to find out.
You run for the water, garnering the attention of a couple of those said Bannermains as you jump in it, and, I mean, if you ever swum in the ocean, you're gonna smell it, or I guess taste it. Yes, this does seem to be an abnormally, albeit not as salty as the ocean, definitely a salty lake. And, at this point, you're free to give me any relevant knowledge skills you have about the geography. I don't think geography's a role anymore, is it? Nature? That would be nature, yeah.
I will roll nature.
Go for it!
Oh, I mean, there's also the problem that they have docks on a lake, inland with no rivers going out. I mean, it's a desert oasis, so there's not really any rivers going to the ocean.
Well, on the map, if you actually look, there actually is.
Oh well, I can't see the map because
There you
this
go.
doesn't have a map that I can look at.
There it is.
Still
It's
though,
actually-
we're
Yep.
No,
And
it kind of ends down before it gets to the ocean.
the
yeah. Plus we're on a plateau, so the water would be flowing in this direction.
well, look, it actually does leak out into the ocean over here.
It's just behind the
Yep, it's just behind.
map.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
You guys
Okay.
did go over the bridge to get into Dakalai when you guys came in, so.
Okay,
Yeah,
so this
I
is
remember that.
okay.
So, you guys that had rolled your nature checks, Little Spout and Orion, the odd thing here is that being that this is an oasis and what you know about the area, this should be a freshwater oasis. How else would people up here be getting their water?
A very
Wait
good
a
question. Is the water on top of a salt deposit?
With the rolls that you had made, it does not, ring a bell that it is. Quite frankly, if it was, like, that would be, it'd have to be a lot of salt to salt up the water as much as it tastes.
Yeah,
I guess
I would think. My speculation is that we were on top of a salt mine, or like there was like a massive, huge salt deposit beneath the earth here.
An assumption that could be made indeed, though the Bannermanes that apparently you have garnered the attention on walk over to the edge of the lake. Any particular reason that you're jumping into the oasis today?
And Orion is using the leather on his wing to kind of scoop up the water to look at it a little closer and taste it. And then when he hears their voices, his ears perk up, and then he looks up in their direction. What?
And they look toward each other and speak, and then you start hearing them speak in Sphinx instead, which is as if, like, they're assuming you didn't understand them. Is there any particular reason you are jumping into the oasis today?
Oh, we're playing that game. I like this game. And I respond back in Celestial. Is there a particular reason why you're jumping into the water today?
And this is when one of the two squints. I don't have time for games, boy. And he actually says this in Celestial back to you.
I don't get it. What's the joke?
They kind of step to the side and gesture out. The joke is that you get out of the water.
I get out of the water and I sit down on the dock, dripping wet. Okay. Where's the joke?
Nothing. That's the punchline. Don't do it again.
Oh, it's an anti-joke. Not very funny. You really got to work on your timing.
Squints, and then he looks you up and down. It's odd that this pony, well, I guess, it should be noted that this is a pony, does not seem to be treating you necessarily as, I guess, no better word for it, poor as the other people are. He's just kind of like looking you up and down. Where are you from?
I am from way to the north of here, north of Wadi. But originally I was in the mountains over by Skiltip.
He thinks a little bit. Think. From mountains over by Skiltip. Ah, yes. Yes, there. Well, and he kind of shakes his head. This traveler seems to be from the High Moons. And he looks toward, like, around. Are you guys, is the rest of the party, like, around Orion right now? Where are you guys in?
Yes, I did the thing where he jumps in the water, and I sort of look over there and be like, and I stop myself from saying that the reason why he jumped to the water is he's a weirdo.
But you just said it.
Just watching on, figuring out what all the weirdos are doing.
Yeah.
Well,
So I'm definitely there and present.
Yeah, his eyes fall on you. And do you know this individual? He says, squinting at your badge. Bannermane?
Yes.
And he looks to you. What chapter are you from? And he points to you, Orion.
Me? Well, I've written several chapters, but none of my books have been published.
And he looks toward steady at this. What chapter is he from?
He's not. He's just traveling with me.
Ah, it would explain his idiocracy. He says in infernal, if like more to himself than anything. But I'm not sure if Orion could actually understand that or not. So I'm just saying what language it is.
Previous Orion would have, but this one apparently does not.
Yeah, he just kind of gargles some demonic language, and then the farmer actually speaks up. This farmer actually speaks up to this. Shoot, that's right. That's just rude. That is. And he shakes his head. Shake, shake, shake.
Ah, jeez.
I like to think infernal sounds much more like Latin, like heavy metal Latin.
You just heavy metal screaming as a language.
Which one do the devils speak?
Infernal.
That is the devil
so
language.
yeah,
of
it's probably
Realm
more
of Hell.
like gargled Latin because it's what they write all the contracts in.
Yes. Letters to Santa usually pretty scary in the demon world. It's kind of yeah.
Orion will.
If you're running
stand
into
up and-
demonic Santa, you better get your wish exactly right.
Orion will stand up and he'll shake himself dry.
All right, shaking yourself dry. A couple of the ponies and what looks to be one Persian kind of shield themselves a little bit. Well, given that you are friends with at least one Bannerman, he says, turning to you, Mr. Steady Shoot, it should be noted that this is technically official Bannerman's business, and I'm sure that you do well not to interrupt it unless you have a particular reason to, he says.
We're looking for a particular good that we need. And so it seems that unless this is resolved, we can't get it.
And he says,
If they have it in all.
He kind of rolls a little bit. And what would this jewel be?
Either stone.
It's always the Aetherstone. What is it with the Western Bannermains and Aetherstone all the time? He says, shaking his head. Shaking, shaking, shaking. First it was that damn goose, and now you, and... he kind of gives a low growl, almost as if he's annoyed by the concept. What do you
Raises
get
an
for...
eyebrow, a Western Bannerman?
Yes.
How recently?
Well, and he kind of raises his eyebrow, pointing to your badge. A Western Bannerman, yes? From... and he squints. Wimborne, I take it?
I don't personally remember his thing. His chapter was whatever the largest chapter nearby where he was born. So like,
Aha, I believe we did settle on Wimborne last time.
yeah, it was.
Sorry, I have
yeah, it
game
was.
notes.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that'd be pretty near for where I expected him to be from. Yeah, so it's the largest city in the area.
Yep.
So yeah.
It has a navy and everything. Ah, yes.
Right, so that's where he would have gone to do it, but probably then went straight back to his small town and then. Anyway.
Look, Mom, I did it! I did it! I'm a Bannerman now.
Yes.
And he kind of rolls his eyes. Well, you know, and he gestures westward. First they wanted the teleportation circles, and then once they got that done, it's, oh, what else can we do with this wondrous material that we're just pilfering from the earth? And he shakes his head.
Oh, yes, we definitely need it for one of those purposes, yes.
You know, quite frankly, I'm just more relieved than anything that it isn't just the earth elementals who are protecting that, you know? And he kind of...
I guess you can't... I keep gesturing like you'll understand my gesture. He tilted his head, just sort of like,
Yes, and he kind of raises an eyebrow, like as if you didn't know, and then continues on. Well, most of the deposits are protected by dragons, thankfully, whether for better or for worse. And he kind of gives a little bit of a shrug. Quite honestly, good on them. After a little incident in Weldstone, the last thing we need is more people getting a hold of them.
What happened in Wellstone?
Now, you know, diamond dogs and whatever they want to pride themselves in calling themselves Gemnals. They always just want their hands on jewels, and of course they always try to one-up that, the goose in Bleakburn. Really pissed him off. A little bit of a firefight, and now they're looking for a new main stitch. Congratulations.
Did the new goose go to hell?
And he kind of like raises an eyebrow. I highly doubt it. If that goose went to hell, then I fear that we might be in a much worse situation than we are currently, because he definitely would have pissed off everyone.
And it's a good thing I know all about good manners. I don't believe in pissing others off.
Yes, yes, I dearly hope that you do not meet our good friend Mr. Hamden across the way. He would not be your friend, I can assure you.
Oh no, he already yelled at us a long time ago.
And he kind of raises an eyebrow. Ah, well, this one doesn't seem to have met him yet.
There's just sort of a head waggle of like, okay, yeah, that's fair.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's fair.
Anyone
Ryan
who's
Phil-
met the goose would sure as hell remember it.
Ryan feels salt water dropping off of his chin, so he shakes again to get the rest of it off.
Ah, can you stop that?
As soon as I'm dry.
He looks to, and then his attention is briefly caught by a clockwork who seems to be going over to his boat. Hey! You! No boats in or out on the Oasis right now. We've told you on more than one occasion. And the clockwork kind of calls back. I'm just getting me stuff from my boat. I'm not going to be taking off from it. Right, well, I got an eye on you. He squints.
So what did happen here?
He looks into the water. Well, what didn't happen? And then, kind of...
A portal to hell.
He kind of rolls his eyes a little bit. You and your hell. You know, if I didn't put it past you, I'd call you a demon myself. But, I mean, but the way that your friends dress up, it seems to me that you guys are more actors than anything. He says, generally gesturing at the demon as if he assumed he was in costume. And the demon just kind of, your demon friend just kind of says, "Aw, shoot, this in, And his eyes kind of light up. Oh. Well, actually, and he looks like he's nervous, like he's definitely telling a lie. I'm definitely one of them fancy actors, yeah.
Yeah, he's got the accent down and everything. Imagine this. A devil farmer. We're trying to put it up as a comedy.
And he kind of raises an eyebrow, and the smallest of smirks come to his face. Honestly, I might actually pay to see that. You should tell me if you ever put that play on.
Yeah, sure thing. The funniest part is about this this group of adventurers who try to track down 3 chickens.
And he kind of considers this a little bit. Well, it does sound, you know, like your typical adventuring shenanigans, but what more can I expect from Bannermains running a play, I suppose? It's
And
just
Orion will...
odd to me that you don't have a bard amongst you, and he's looking up and down as if looking for an instrument.
Little Sphinx shall rise up to her full height, as small as that might be. You know, some bards are orators.
And he kind of like looks down at the little one. Oh? Sing me a song then, you.
I just said orator.
Ah, orator, singer. Do I look like a bard to you?
Clearly not.
Huh. Well, at least you seem to know your stuff at the very least. And he looks back toward the lakes. In any case, nobody is allowed to leave on a boat into the oasis or not until we sort some things out. And he takes a long, deep breath.
Well, what needs to get sorted?
Well, obviously, you've already noticed problem number 1, he says, looking at Orion, who has flicked all the salt water off his face.
Yeah, your freshwater oasis is full of salt.
Yes, yes. And quite frankly, I would not put it past the gods to have salted this water with probably how angry they are with us. Call them salty, if you will. And he shakes his head a little.
Now, see, that's a good joke. You should tell more like that one.
He smiles. Yes, I appreciate the compliments, but I am certainly no orator, at least not in the performing sense. He gives a little bit of a nod. However, it would seem that the elite, he says, with a very big, annoying emphasis on it, like he does not appreciate these people, seem to have disregarded all of the fruits that this oasis has to offer. No more worship, no more prayer. It's almost as if this city has become godless in the name of money. He shakes his head. And quite frankly, I'm not surprised at all that a gift brought to us by the late Amenta has become soiled, as it were.
So is the oasis cursed? Is it supposed to be fresh water?
And he looks back. Well, of course it's supposed to be fresh water. How else do you think the people of this town drink?
Something went wrong. Try again in a few seconds.
And he kind of looks back. What was that automated
Alcohol.
robotic voice? And he's looking around for a clockwork.
I mean,
How
there's
does
no
it
shortage of
taste?
those.
I
You can see
am-
alcohol.
I am. I'm drawing a blank, and I don't seem to have notes. Because that name Amenta, I'm like, it feels like I should know that name.
DM can give it to you because you guys have definitely spent a lot of time with her. You knew her as beautiful.
That's okay. Yes, 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 yes. I remember. Yes. Okay. Okay. And they had a big deal about it in another city nearby. Okay.
Who is she?
She was a living statue that turned out to be the daughter of guardians of a mythical library we can't talk to you about by Gias.
This was out of character. I vaguely.
This is absolutely out of
Okay, I
character.
was
In
like-
character, I'm not explaining anything.
Yeah,
In character, my character didn't even say it.
yeah.
Sorry, I think Discord cut out on me. Something about a library. What was that?
To remind, I'm not saying this in character.
You're under a gaze. You shouldn't tell me anything.
Okay, I mean, this is like I said, this is not a.
But I have watched the episode of y'all being in the library. That was quite an adventure y'all went on.
Okay, yeah, so she was involved with that, and so okay.
Orion, given that you don't know much about this, but might recall the name, you are more than free to give me a religion check.
Absolutely, I'm perfect at those. Watch this.
Yes, normally I wouldn't give you those things, but I mean, you're literally like a researcher, and also you definitely don't know these things, even though you're a researcher, so, never mind.
Aw.
I just saw your roll. I mean, the name, it's like, it's definitely something you've seen. You've seen it, can't recall it, it's like on the tip of your tongue.
Let's see. So what exactly caused what is the salt water the only problem, or is
Are you telling me that that's the only problem? It's a giant oasis. 3 neighboring towns use it as a water source, and you're saying that this is some sort of minor problem?
No, I'm just making sure.
Well,
Orion scoops up some more water with his wing and lets it pour it back down into the dock. How long has it been like this?
Well, and he kind of thinks a little bit. A fair amount of time, I would say at this point about 3-4 weeks. At least that's when we started noticing it.
Where have you been getting your fresh water for almost a month?
Well, and he kind of like raises a hoof a little bit. It's more or less up to us to make sure that this city is stocked with it. So of course we're going to have reserves, and quite frankly, we'll have reserves for a fair amount of time. Which is why we are diligently looking at the situation, because, and he kind of waves his hoof, and a little bit of water comes up from, like, in like a sphere out of the water. Because if we don't
Ooh.
fix this soon, that is going to be very bad for a lot of people.
Well, I have a suggestion for you. Until it is corrected, you could craft a massive distillery, probably several, with as many people as need fresh water, and boil the salt water off, collect it, and then distill it through a filter, and you'll have fresh, clean drinking water. But to do that on a scale of 3 cities, that would take an enormous endeavor.
And
But
he kind of like looks at you. Yes, and that would be an enormous endeavor. With the construction alone, does we look like construction workers from Brashfield to you? And he,
Ooh, look at me. I can make water appear out of thin air. But you can't build something to get water for everyone?
splashes the water on you.
I'm already wet.
Yeah. Is that your response?
That's my response in character.
The smirk continues, and very quietly you just hear him say, "Orators indeed." Well, regardless, the problem here is much bigger down the line, I'm sure. We're really trying not to make a fuss with it, so I hope that your friends and you can definitely keep this on the hush-hush. The elites of the city don't need to know, lest they panic and then start to, well, do the thing that elites do, he says, waving, like, I guess putting up his hooves together and rubbing them in a circle. Oh, yes, let's sell all of the water for a really high premium price to everybody else. Yes, this gift that we have been given, let's profit from it, shall we? And he shakes his head. Shake. Abhorrent.
Okay, so what you said something about Amenta and causing it?
Are you not familiar with the story?
I am not.
Yeah, well, and he kind of looks as if he expected as much, and he does say that. I expected as much.
The only thing I know about Amenta is her beauty.
Ah, yes. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as they say, and he kind of rolls his eyes a little bit. Well, the late Queen Amenta was the son, my bad, is the daughter of Soft Whisper, he says pretty frankly, and quite frankly was one of the original Bannermanes. I'm quite surprised you haven't heard the tale, given that you are one, he says, booping your badge.
Again, I'm doing my I keep doing physical reactions like you'll notice. When he says one of the original was a Soft Whisper, kind of does this "oh really" face, and one of the original Bannermanes is sort of like all right.
And then he kind of continues on with his story. In any case, the long and short of it is that one of her great feats in her time was, of course, to bless this oasis for everyone that surrounds it. She offered it as a gift, made some deals, and got us fresh water for ages and ages. And then he looks around at some of the clockworks. Whoever's playing that music, you shut it off! And the one that went into the steamboat before just says, sorry! And exits. And then continues, in any case, as I was saying, the water itself was supposed to be a gift, and she more or less helped found the Fronds, and he points to his palm tree badge. I've been one my whole life, as are many of my other brothers, and he points towards some of the other clerics who are down the way. And it is more or less our task to make sure that this gift remains untainted. Unfortunately, he says, rolling his eyes, the city itself does not seem to have that same goal at heart.
Huddle up, everybody.
That was your box text from the GM.
Yeah.
I go over to the little Sphinx and I motion everybody to huddle up. I mean, we're trying to get Aetherstone. It sucks they don't have fresh water, but that's not our deal.
Little Spout sits up, ears pricked. If we get your fresh water, could you get us some Aetherstone?
And he looks over. If you can help us, he says, as if considering, I'm sure that we can help find you some of the stone in which you speak. He says, as if, like, as if like telling a child they could finally have the chocolate bar they asked from Walmart all day.
I mean, that's still a yes.
Would there be enough stone for us to get to Helen back?
And then he kind of looks around at like hearing some badoom in the distance. Who the hell keeps doing that? And then
Oh, he said it! He said
Yeah,
it! Cheers.
And he's shaking his head a little bit. He looks down. Yes, well, better than trying to pilfer it, I suppose, from some of these people, he says with a note of disdain.
Little Sprout gestures dramatically at her friends. All right, now it's our problem.
Back to the huddle.
Well, all right. All right, so we need to turn this salt water into fresh water. Apparently some goddess got her plumage all miffed. So we need to find who's responsible for the miffing.
Little Sprout extends a hoof. Well, if we know how they did the miffing, that might help.
What was the offense done to the pretty goddess?
Are you asking him or me?
Asking them.
Kind of gestures to the city. All this. They've effectively commercialized this whole place. They've turned it into a godforsaken resort. He gestures around. This was not supposed to be a gift for the few, but a gift for the many.
Ah, I see. So the evils of capitalism have once again taken hold in our world. Time for the proletariat to get what they deserve.
He kind of like deadpans to you. Ah, yes. You're one of those economists, are you?
Nope, I just read that in a book somewhere, and it caused a lot of people to get uppity.
And he kind of raises his eyebrow. I'll take your word for it.
Little Sprout rubs behind her head. Oh man, this is not something we can just punch in the face.
I disagree.
No.
If you punch people enough, then eventually they go unconscious, and you can take their stuff.
Yes,
give
but
it
you
back
have
to
to
him.
punch all these faces, she says, gesturing at the city. That's a lot of faces to punch.
Well,
It's also
maybe
possible
if
that's not. It's also possible that's not the reason, and he's just. This is personal.
Yeah, because this is, just not something we can actually, change in anything less than years.
Well, okay, we know which god it is. Why don't we try asking a priest of said god?
to the temple.
To the temple!
Yeah, I let him walk forward a little while, actually, and I kind of like lower my head to the other people who have been to the library. I'm like, is there more than one Amenta?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Is there more than one Amenta? I try to say softly.
Are you asking him or me?
I'm saying this to the people who have been to the library, which is everyone but
Library!
yeah, everyone but our friend Dr. Orion, unfortunately. Which I would not be able to say it around.
Just makes it annoying.
Sorry. I like, and it's not something I necessarily have like a real I expect anyone to have a real answer for, I guess, but like
I made a roll.
Oh, what is you rolling for?
Yeah. You should be able to see it.
I know. I'm asking, what are you rolling for? Like, what's your question?
Oh, confirming if there is more than one Amanta in the world.
I mean, like, if there is, it's definitely a named after them sort of thing. The big Amenta that you definitely do know in the religious sense is Beauty. Like, that is the one that beautiful, like the one you saw. She is, well, like the cleric said, the literal daughter of Soft Whisper, and as he had said, one of the original Bannermains.
right.
All right,
But the
we will
Amenta
just-
we met was supposedly the child of the guardians of the library, and that does not seem like the same person anymore. Operating under this
Okay, but only one of them is a god and only one of them is upset, right?
upset. Oh yeah. If they're upset at all. If
Well,
this
then-
isn't just him saying, "I bet you it's this."
Well,
Sure.
that's why we're going to the chapel. That's the whole point.
Okay, keep going.
To confer with their priests.
Now, are you asking them for directions, or are you just going off and searching? Is the question.
Directions would be the smart thing to do.
Turn back around. Hey, where's the chapel?
I don't know.
Not you.
And well, you guys did leave him out of the like you guys just pretty much like huddled up away from Orion and then started walking back to him. That's funny. And the cleric, however, that you guys had met, just kind of like raises an eyebrow. Well, it's nothing too extraordinary, but it is the Bannerman's headquarters here, and he gives you directions to the building over here.
Oh, well, that's convenient. Bye.
And as you guys start to walk away, he does call after you. Is there any reason that you're going there? Because you're probably not going to find very many people, he says, gesturing to all of the clerics on the dock.
But it's about size.
Did
Those
you
probably-
mention clerics on the dock earlier?
I did.
Yes.
Yes.
He did actually mention that they were all in cleric garb, but it had slipped my
Oh.
mind until he says, like, that's where all the Bannermains are. Okay.
Spot looks at everybody else. Okay, I think the odds of them having at least some idea has risen.
Okay.
Yes.
Who is the high priest, and can we speak to that priest?
Yes. Our high priest is me. Nice to meet you.
Yep.
Oh, hi.
And he extends his hoof to shake your hand.
Ryan smells his hoof. What's it smell like?
Incense.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that, or can you?
Oh, I'm supposed to shake. Okay. And I shake his hoof.
Yes, and after an awkward moment of just staring at his hoof for a second, he does kind of shake it a little bit. Yes, nice to meet you. I'm the Mean Stitch, High Priest, whatever you wish to call me. The elites like to call me Scourge of the City. So if you would not use that title, I would very much appreciate it.
Why did you tell us the title if you didn't want to use it?
Well, because I assumed, he said, looking toward the littlest of sphinxes, that the way she is dressed, you more or less are familiar with the term.
No, I don't think you're as popular as you like to believe.
Ha, tell me about it. And he gives a little bit of a smile. If I was more popular, I'm sure a lot of these elitists would definitely listen to me, now wouldn't they? But nobody around here likes to respect the Bannermains, of course, when their interests are the ones at stake.
Well, enough about them. Let's discuss this problem we've got. So we need Aetherstone and you need fresh water. Let's focus on that. So, when should we start the revolution?
I take my ears away from you on that, and he gives a little bit of a smile. Alas, I fear that perhaps an excursion outward might be the direction, personally, that I was thinking of going, he said, looking out into the lake. Though, you know how it is. It's an adventure, he says with a wafty little, like, hoof outwards. And quite frankly, when you don't have all the members of your party together, it becomes a little bit more dangerous in that respect.
Little Spout gives a sage nod. It's true. You have to gather your party before venturing forth.
Yes, he says with a smile. Much like that child's game they play, right? Castles and Crashers, or whatever they call it.
Little Spout looks like pouty for a moment. Somebody mispronouncing the name of the game that she used to play with her husband when she had one of those.
Well,
How many
Good
Bannermains?
times.
How many Bannermains have you lost?
we have unfortunately lost 3 thus far. And he looks a little bit like actually saddened by this. Blast it all, if they would have been able to catch it, I'm sure I would have been able to bring them back too. The problem is that when they went out to go scout over the lake, they had failed to come back, and that is one of the main components necessary for, bringing someone new back is their body.
Right. I take it their ship is also lost out into the middle of the water?
Yes. kind of he does look a little pretty like saddened by this. Poor chaps. Been a member for years.
Do you know for a fact that they're dead, or are they just AFK?
And he kind of looks at you. What does that mean?
Away from Keystone.
And he kind of like raises one eyebrow. Is that a term that you Western folk use?
No.
It's
No.
it's a common colloquialism with stonemasons. Because if you walk away from the keystone and you're the key master, the archway might collapse on everybody working on it.
I wouldn't believe that.
And he keeps his eyebrows kind of raised as if he has a pretty high wisdom score, and it definitely like kind of gives you a look. I'll be sure to use such a term around the next blacksmith I see. How about that?
He gives him a thumbs up with his wing.
Your loss. No.
And he kind of looks back over the lake. Well, I don't mean to sound too rude, but if you were willing to risk your lives in the sake of saving a lot of others, you do have the Franz behind you in such an endeavor for sure. And he gives a little bit of a smile, lest something less than admirable happen to you, and say you were to come back, of course.
Wait, do you have something you need us to do besides changing the fabric of society?
He kind of thinks a little bit. Not quite. If I could change the fabric of society, well then I'd probably be Shen from Wati, huh? Wizard folk are kind of like that.
Well, if we are going...
tilts her head. Well, now I just want a god to stop being angry and crying into the lake.
Pat, pat, pat. You and me both.
Well, they did send people out. Was that to investigate, or is that in anything more concrete than that? Excuse me, let me get in Steady's voice.
Well, they were the first to volunteer. I had mentioned that the problem had arisen in one of our daily prayers that morning, and they were the first three to jump up at the opportunity. Oh, they were so excited. It was going to be something, well, they were honor-bound to do, of course, like all of us are. And he gestures down the way to the other clerics, who are just kind of idly watching you guys from the distance. The thing is, I mean, who am I to stop such, such young faces from wanting to accomplish something that they desperately feel as if they are destined to do? I know how some pony folk can be in that respect, so of course I let them. Who knows? You adventurers have a funny way of turning up stories and answers in that respect, and that's what they look to the Bannermaids for. And it gives a little bit of a smile. But alas, as I've said...
There's a nod. It's just sort of like a nodding along, like, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And he kind of like looks back out over the lake, and, you know, they took their boat, one that they apparently had owned. I did not even know that they had one to begin with, and quite frankly was surprised. Normally we have to commission that kind of thing from the clockworks around here, but where they got the gold, I'm not going to ask. And he gives a little bit of a smile. Not my monkeys, not my circus sort of deal. Took it out, and never came back.
Adventurers kind of tend to turn up with gold sooner or later.
I'm more than
Okay,
aware.
well, following them sounds like might be a positive goal. If we can just succeed at the whole not disappearing forever thing, then we're doing better.
How many days have your Bannermains been missing?
And he kind of looks a little bit saddened. Well, as I said, we only started noticing this 3-4 weeks ago at this point. Once we had noticed it, they had went out within the first week of that time, and it has been a few since.
A few days, a few weeks, a few hours?
A few weeks, yes. This is why I am inclined to believe that, well, inclined to believe the worst. I would rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and correct, but in this case I would call this realism.
Well, we will need to take a boat with us if we're to go out onto the water. Where can we get one?
And he looks down the dock. Far be it beyond me to tell you could take somebody else's property, but I'm sure if you could convince somebody down the way, I would not stop you.
I tell you what, Mr. Scourge.
He
Which,
raises his eyebrow.
He starts scratching his chin with his wing. Which aristocrat would you say would miss their boat the least?
Miss their boat the least, and he starts thinking. Ah, well, I know of this one bloke, he says with a little bit of a sly smile. Considers himself an orator, if you will. He calls himself Dubai. And he keeps smiling. One of the more... And he sighs, as if steeling himself to say it. And kind of continues, well, excuse my language, rich assholes of the city. He owns a place by the name of the Cactus Bloom.
Oh, we keep hearing about that place.
Yeah, apparently it's a good place to get better servants than us.
And he kind of...
Well, then we'd best get over there, shouldn't we?
And he kind of gives you this look. You would be more than surprised at the things that go on in that place, but it is far beyond me to try to stop them, lest the Bannermains here cease to keep being here.
I turn to the party and I ask,
Maybe we should be going the other direction with this, and who is most likely to actually be willing to loan out a boat instead of...
You're no fun.
Well, he kind of looks over to Steady. You know, quite honestly, I am a little surprised. I would have expected such an answer to come from a Bannermain, not your friend here.
What?
Well, a more fun solution, as this one puts it.
No.
Well, it seems your friend here with the giant axe is wiser than most with a giant axe, so perhaps you should listen to him.
Anziel, do you know how to pilot a ship?
That would be a negative. I have never piloted a ship. Ever.
Start answer. What about you?
Probably not.
She's read it in a book once.
Basically.
Little Spout inclines her head. I mean, technically, I am a boat.
Yeah, but I don't think you could put everyone on your back.
What does this one mean, she's a boat?
I'm really good in water, trust me.
Ah. I was
Man,
afraid for a
Scott...
second that was one of your orator euphemisms for something, everybody gets a ride, or whatever jokes that you like to come up with.
Oh
Little
my.
Spout looks disgusted. I'm married, thank you.
And he gives a little bit of a sly smile. Oh, jokes. He shakes his head.
Yeah, Orion and I do a two-man show. I play the straight man. No.
What are you implying?
That's funny. That's some funny shit.
See?
Well, Steady Shoot, if we go to one of these rich assholes and he does the air quotations with his wings, we're probably going to get turned away, thrown out, possibly arrested.
We also don't want to tell them that there's a problem, because if they do, then the bad things will happen.
Right, and not only that...
You're making such a big deal, says Little Spout in her snootiest of tones. I just want to take a nice little dilly-dally into the water and see the sight. I'm told that lake is absolutely beautiful from the center of it, and I came here to see it.
And you already have permission from the Bannermains to do it.
Orion claps his heels together. Little Spout, you think you could seduce the guy and get all of us onto the ship into the water?
She raises a brow. I don't know about that word you just used.
Do you think you could politely coerce him into letting us onto his ship and going out into the water?
That's more the spirit.
He doesn't know there's a problem out there. And it wouldn't be stealing because he's on his own boat, right? Right, Steady Shoot?
Right.
There we go.
It's like the Kronk, like, right.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if we literally just ask and get a yes, then no laws have been broken.
Anziel Star Dancer, what do y'all think? I mean, personally, at his boat's here. I'd say we just, untie it from the dock, and I don't think anybody would respond quickly enough. Silence is compliance. All right, let's go seduce an aristocrat.
I mean, I was gonna say I'll follow you guys, but that also works.
Little Spout is heading to the fancy place with the fancy people.
All right.
I'm gonna get a drink of water.
Which fancy
think-
place?
I think it would be
The
funny
cactus.
if the aristocrat had to be seduced by Orion.
I vote Orion.
There's at least one aristocrat in this city who would fall for it. I guarantee it. But
They have different
Yeah,
tastes.
but it's a guy.
Well, we're going to that Rose place.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the Cactus Juice Bar.
All right. The yeah, the cactus blossom. You guys head back to the fancy place with a curt nod from your cleric friend, and he went about his business, acting as if the conversation never happened. And
This never happened.
never happened.
You didn't see anything.
And you guys arrive back. The Bellmare, which you had scared off from the cart, is once again at the front. She seems to be, her head is up. She is assuming a rather professional position. And as I had said previous, she kind of has that, like has one of those fancy uniforms that a lot of the Bellmares around here do seem to have. They seem to be more of like a company thing. Like than anything. It's kind of like all the Bellmares around this place have the same sort of looking uniform, and quite frankly, I mean, like the best comparison that I can do is like you guys know Robbie Rotten, right? Like,
Would you like to?
would you like to? Yeah, like she's kind of got that sort of vesture on.
That sure was a language.
What did it say that the image was in Abyssal? How do you say an image in Abyssal? That's funny.
Is that the link in Abyssal?
No, I just posted the image, just copy pasted it. And it just
Oh, there
said
it
that
is.
was in Abyssal. Anyways, that's like the the style of uniform she has. It's kind of like vest, top vest. I don't know the exact name of clothes because I'm no fashionista, but
However, Little Sphinx is in character, which means she's going to ignore the hell out of them.
aha. She does not ignore the hell out of you, actually, as you guys kind of walk past. Her eyes kind of follow you guys. You guys are familiar. She doesn't say anything, though.
Oh yeah, no, it's okay for her to stare at me. I'm important.
Mm-hmm. And a couple of those other ones that had seen you park the cart, I mean, you get a little bit of stares, especially with Steady Shoot, whether he is tailing up or heading up with a Little Spout, or Sinks, rather. But nobody really accosts you as you enter the doors into the grand place of the Desert Blossom. Entering the doors, you do see that the interior of it is a lot cooler. It's almost as if this place is somehow air-conditioned. Ooh, how fancy.
Who does that?
Many more
Somebody
of these
with a lot of
Bellmares on
wasted
the
money.
inside are bustling around, pushing around baggage carts, and one, over by the front reception, stands tall. Same uniform, and looks to you guys. Welcome to the Desert Blossom. How can I help you?
And so Little
Or Cactus
Sphinx
Blossom,
shall
sorry.
give a smile. A mildly impatient smile, but still a smile.
Mm-hmm.
Hello there. I was hoping to speak to someone on my level about a little trip I had in mind. I am told that the view on the lake is to die for, and I really need to borrow a boat for a moment.
And she kind of smiles. Of course. Do you have the contact?
She sighs exasperatedly. Does nothing happen in the city without one of those?
And she kind of looks down. And she seems to determine for a second. Yes, this must be a tourist. Of course, yes.
She shakes her head. Well, since you seem to be a useful sort, smile. Why don't you get me one of those contacts?
Her ears kind of like fall just slightly. Well, if they haven't given it to you, I unfortunately can't get that for you. And she kind of shakes her head. It would be the same, miss, if you had a room here, and then suddenly everybody started asking for yours. I hope you understand.
She inclines her head. Oh, we were trying to refer to a room number.
And she kind of shakes her head. Nope, contact. And then she kind of remembers that, hey, this person might be a tourist. And continues, one of these. And she actually shows some sort of device. It has some numbers on it, and what seems to be a little bit of a speakerphone on the device, and another one that she kind of picks up and places against her ear. A number goes here, and if they have a connection in the city, then you can speak to them. It's something that the Clockworks put together for the city.
Oh, how decadent.
Hey, wasn't that a thing that I was making when we were on the boat?
You actually made something similar, but not the same. It was a
yeah, not the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I was then going to hand out, and then it just never happened, or something.
It was.
I don't remember.
It was pretty fancy. If you poke me about that in DMs, I could because I think that was before we switched to PF2.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so if you poke me about that in DMs, just so I don't forget later, I can drop a homebrew for that.
Oh no, homebrew, who does that?
Me, because I have a whole homebrew doc, and it's really fun to make PF2e homebrew. Woo.
Oh no!
Yeah, David doesn't do homebrew. He just writes stuff down and he says, well, maybe I'll put it in a book instead.
Pony Fighter's not homebrew. What are you talking about?
Don't you know, once you publish it, it's not homebrew.
Yeah. It's third party.
There
That's
you
right.
go. It's different.
Yeah. And she smiles, and she actually like lends you like one of the earpieces. For example, watch. And the earpiece goes to you, little Sphinx, and she starts entering. She turns to the phone, or device, whatever you want to call it, and starts entering a number. Totally not a phone. Beep bop boop bop beep bop boop. And you start hearing like a little clunking in the thing, as if like something's moving around, but it's like a periodical thing. Like it's just like a pattern for
Tunk, 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 tunk.
yeah, before somebody picks up, and you hear another polite voice on the other side, room service, and she actually speaks into the speaker part of the thing there. No need, I'm just displaying something for a very nice looking little Sphinx here at our desk. I just want to show her what the contacts are. And then you hear little Spout, oh, well that's just lovely. Well, this is what they are. And then you're just hearing this little conversation.
Little Sphinx looks appropriately impressed. Mm-hmm.
And she kind of gives a brief thank you before ending the call, and then gently bringing back the earpiece and clicking it on the top. Very nifty, especially for the the common folk that can't do a lot of the fancy things that some other really high prestige magic casters can. She gives a little bit of a smile. Very nice of the Clockworks.
The little Sphinx claps her fiery hooves together. I have my own tricks, but not that one. I like that. Are those given out to everybody who lives in the city then?
Well, if you live in the city or own a room in any of the surrounding resorts. Most resorts and rooms have their own contact number, yes. And for the richer ones that come around, she says with an air of like, no offense, they get their own, dedicated room, more or less, so long as they can afford it. And then it becomes more or less their permanent contact.
Rosebell gives a nod. I see. But for now, I just want to mingle. She looks towards where the snooty people are hiding.
There doesn't seem to be any snooty people in here. Most of the people, most of the creatures wandering are here, just the The various mayors are going to and from, carrying bags, that kind of thing.
Is there a bar in here?
Oh, of course. Only if you have a room, though, she says, kind of looking you up and down.
Here, right here. At which point, Little Spout gives a bit of a sigh. There's always fine print, isn't there?
Always indeed. She gives a smile.
She turns to her servants. Go ahead and get me a room.
Orion steps up to the plate. We need a room.
Aha, and she smiles.
It's not like Little Spout couldn't have asked herself, but, you know, she's in character.
And she smiles as she presents you with a price sheet. A very expensive price sheet that would pretty much be the DM telling you that this would be an extravagant suite on the Pathfinder 2e rooms, which is 10 gold a day.
Ka-ching!
We'll take that one.
And she smiles. Very well then. And sets it aside. She pulls up a small money counter. How many days?
The Little Spout digs into a pouch and pulls out a shiny platinum piece. Aww. And she does not hand it to the lady. She, in fact, hands it to her valued servant. Dink.
But I'm the one trying to set up the room. You should give it to me.
I'm saying you, yes.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
As opposed to she doesn't give it to the work person who's working there.
Yeah, she's like...
She gave it to you.
Yeah.
I take the platinum piece and I set it on the counter and push it towards her.
And I did mark down 10 gold pieces.
Nice. Okay. And she pushes it toward her.
But she nods. If all goes too well, we'll be out on the water tomorrow, so what's the point of having a room, really?
Fair enough, she says with a smile. Some of those boats are rather extravagant, though you'll have a time getting past the Bannermains. I hear that they and some of the Clockworks are holding up something at the docks.
Little Spout waggles her brows. Oh, I have my ways. I just need a boat.
And as she smiles, she runs the platinum piece through the thing, which you see pop up with a little green-looking card at top. And it seems like this is a valid coin, so there you are. And she turns around, grabs what looks to be...
I'm going to run credit on your quarter. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. She kind of turns around, she grabs what looks to be a very fancy key, looks to the servant. For your master.
I take the key and I show it to Little Sphinx.
Little Sphinx kind of just glances over it and gives a nod. She just doesn't reach for it. Very good.
Yeah. And the key itself, upon your inspection, would have your room number on it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But Little Spout is trying to not look super invested in looking at it.
It's a standard.
Just kind of glances at it. Yep, that's a thing I asked you to do.
Yep. And according to the room and the floor on here, that would be on floor 4.
How fancy! Yeah. Except we're probably gonna go to the bar.
And yep.
We just needed the room to get to the bar.
Yeah, and she kind of smiles at this. And if you were looking for the bars, there actually is one on each floor. And she smiles. And she kind of shows you guys.
That's actually less convenient.
She gives you a smile, giving you like a map of each floor, which is pretty much just like cookie cutter for each one. The rooms kind of on the left side, which curl around to a bar, and a little bit more of a fancy hangout spot on the right, on each floor.
Wow. It looks like I will have a perfectly acceptable evening.
I hope it's extravagant, she says, smiling.
I'm sure it will be.
Little Sphinx trots past her. Trot.
And Orion will smile and try to take on the air of snootiness yet subordination. You know, it's like, yeah, I obey my boss, but I'm still above you kind of attitude. And he says, I'm sure my lady will find the services adequate.
Ah, yes, you're taking the filthy rich attitude, not the spoiled rotten one.
No. I mean, see, if we were spoiled rotten, we wouldn't have actually parked the cart after.
Fair enough. And if you're following Little Sphinx, I mean, there's more than enough directories around for you guys to figure out where to go.
Are we allowed to
So-
ride the elevator with you, or must we take the stairs?
She tilts her head. Actually, I figured we'd start at the first floor until we actually run into somebody we want to talk to.
Are we trying to get the guy who owns the boat?
Do we know what floor he's on?
He's probably on the top floor. That's where the penthouse would be. How many floors are there?
There are 7, including the penthouse, like floor.
All right, well, we can start from the top and work down.
Star Dancer, what is your sexiest outfit? We may need to draw his eyes.
Star Dancer?
I don't even have any outfits besides, a traveling robe.
Little Spout looks for the Little Sphinx's room.
Little Sphinx's rooms wouldn't exist unless they're in your room.
Oh. Well, fortunately, we have a room, so I go there.
You go there, and as you open the door to your room, it is extravagant indeed. In fact, as you walk in, there's an entire kitchen to the left with marble countertops. It's got this odd device which seems to have buttons and knobs on it over what seem to be.
Guys, this thing has cold and hot water. What the hell?
Yeah. There's some sort of device with burners and turns and knobs and something like a faucet.
Okay, well, Little Spot's going to ignore all that,
Yeah.
and she's going to close the door to the bathroom. Boom.
Bonk.
And then she's going to open the door to the bathroom, and there is Little Sphinx, but dressed like she's about to hit the town. Yeah.
Very fancy.
Cling. And illusions are good like that. And she has all of the illusions she wants. So she does that. That's the thing that she did.
It has
And
happened.
she's looking at everybody else. All right, well, we have privacy. What's the plan?
Well, first of all, we need to find out who to procure the boat from. So we should probably find who is up on the 7th floor, their name, where they're going to be, so that way we can meet them and convince them to get us out onto the water.
Just about tilts her head. Well, that sounds good. I mean, if we see them in the bar, then we just go up to them and start talking.
Might not be that simple. They might be a business pony or Sphinx.
Little Spout tilts her head. What? Business buddies don't get drinks.
Not normally during the day. What time of day is it, GM?
Is it during the day?
At this point, it'd actually be probably more in the afternoon, during evening. Because you guys have been going around a while, doing things all
Yeah,
day.
that's kind of what I figured, yes. That would be closer to the end of the day. Which might be a time to find somebody hanging out in the bar.
Mhm.
All right. You're the boss.
During Friday, and she leans over. I'm really sorry, I'm just pretending.
It's all right. If I had any feelings, you definitely didn't hurt them.
And where are you going, Little Spout? Just so I know.
We're going up to the top floor!
To the
Whee!
top floor you go. Clip clop, clip clop, clip clop. And as you get from the 6th floor going up to the 7th, it does seem like security has gotten a fair bit tighter. So those guards going around, and they actually spot you, Little Sphinx, and they kind of step in the way. Hold it right there, you patron.
Little Sphinx sighs and looks over at her servant. Show him the key.
Ryan holds up the key, and he smiles.
Smiles. Little Sphinx, give me a diplomacy roll, ye.
Diplomacy rolls? Who does that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And they
That's a pretty good roll.
and they seem to just like notice the key, but don't read anything on it. Just assuming your attitude and everything like that, and they kind of just part ways. Very well. Business or pleasure?
And she smiles. Business.
Of
But
course.
maybe that'll become pleasure.
And they just let you pass, not commenting on such things.
And she just walks like she owns the place. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Master of diplomacy, indeed. And you guys are let up into the area which, well, it's pretty plain. The floors that you had that your own rooms are on, and all the other ones kind of had 3 or 4 different rooms kind of laid out across the way. You saw more than one door that kind of led up to some more pleasantries where you could get more supplies for your rooms, that kind of thing. The top floor, however, only has one really nice oaken door toward the back, and what seems to be another door, well, not really a door, rather a hallway to the left, which, given the map that you guys were shown, definitely probably leads to a bar area that they have on the top floor, though certainly a smaller one, as the map that you were shown shows that the penthouse actually has its own stocked liquor cabinets and such. But hey, you guys didn't pay for the penthouse, paid for the normal rooms. Oh no. But there the door is.
Little Spout is looking for eligible bachelors who might own a boat.
Well, there doesn't seem to be anybody going up and down the hallway. In fact, nobody is going up and down the hallway. It seems like there's only one door up here, probably implying that there's only one person up here. Ooh, have fancy.
Oh, this is literally his room.
Yeah, this is his room, and upon closer inspection, as you come up to the door, you do see on a brass plate above, just as the mayor down below had said, seems like this guy's more of a permanent resident, as his nameplate there in Sphinx, if you can read it, just simply says Dubai.
Little Spout inclines her head. And she reaches up, clop, clop, clop upon the door.
You knock upon the door. There's no response. At least not for a moment. And then, once an awkward amount of silence have gone by, what is it?
Oh, hello there. I was hoping to bend your ear for just a moment.
Oh, no, nobody's answered the door. It's just, are you just saying this through the door?
Yes.
Okay. And,
that is literally what she does.
it was a brief moment when, you hear some light padding from across the way, and the door opening. You see the extravagant sight of a Persian. Now, more of a black cat in himself, with black laced wings. There does seem to be golden highlights along his feathers, and somewhat more of an Egyptian-y gold pattern trailing from his eyes to the back. And
I'm sure that cost him money.
I know, right? What might have cost him more money is actually the extravagant red, burgundy, and gold robe that he has kind of curled around his waist. You seem to have caught him in the middle of his relaxation time, and he holds in one paw a very fancy looking chalice of wine, sipping from it. What is it?
I apologize. I know how it is to have people stopping by without making reservations first. Very rude of me. I'm sorry, she says, shaking her head. However, we both have a problem, but I have a solution to it.
He looks down. I have not scheduled any meetings with well-wishers and investors today, so this better be good.
Ah, yes. She gives us a soft nod and then gestures out towards where the water is. I will try to make this as brief as possible. I want to see the sights, and I want to rub it in on those little banner mains just a little bit, she says, holding up 2 illusionary fingers close together.
And he actually seems to get his interest a little bit. His ears kind of perk up. Oh, rub it into the Panamain's faces.
Oh yes, just to remind them what their place is.
Oh, certainly. What can I help you with? He says with a little bit of a smirk.
Well, they think they can tell us when we're allowed to sail and when we're not. But in order for me to finish this little enterprise, I need a boat, as it turns out.
Ha! A boat? You don't own one?
Just to borrow one. I do, but it's in the wrong body of water.
He kind of thinks. Ah, well, fair enough. And he kind of
Turns out my boat's in the wrong lane.
yeah, yeah, he, like perfectly valid story. And he kind of kind of rolls his eyes, and with a turn of the wing, he invites you in. Invite.
Oh, good.
So
If you were, if she were a vampire,
advance.
she would be good.
And just know, if that large galumping fool of a servant you have knocks over a single wine bottle, I will not be happy.
Yeah, I'm probably like trying to not wear my badge.
Yeah, I
Especially
assume.
if I just heard the thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hold on a sec.
It's like,
I hate the Bannerings.
I'm just
shit.
imagining you reaching up to your chest and swatting it off.
Just surreptitiously like move it underneath the armor instead. Okay.
But Little Spout shall enter. If he bothers anything, I will take it right out of his hide.
I expect to see it. Look like one of those, what is it, ponies that like to scratch off their cutie marks. He shakes his head. Westerners.
Orion lifts his wings and looks at his butt. Then he puts his wing back down and shrugs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Think he cares?
He
If
doesn't.
anything,
He doesn't seem to have quite noticed that bit, but I mean that is a jab, I suppose. And as you are invited in, he gestures grandly to a very comfortable-looking sofa. The penthouse itself, of course, has a giant glass roof that just overlooks. Well, it overlooks the city. It is the largest, tallest building of the city, and seems to offer a very nice view of it. And in fact, given the fact that it's about sunset, it is a fantastic setting. Sitting
Little
down.
Spout will actually take a moment to appreciate the view and nod. I knew I was approaching somebody with good taste. What a lovely view you've managed.
Well, you know, the sun itself is such a beautiful thing. Deadly in the desert, of course, but when you have all the right creature comforts, he says, sipping, and then glaring at all the other servants who look like they're probably going to make themselves comfortable. Don't you dare sit on that couch. Sit on the floor. Sit on the floor next to your master.
Little Spout inclines her head. Isn't that how most things work? The prettiest things are so vicious.
And he gives a catty, like, with one claw, like a... I don't know how, I don't know how best to... You envision it. And he smiles a little bit, taking another sip from his chalice, and raising another paw. He raises it, snaps, and then you hear clinking behind you guys. Various clinking before looking over. You guys see that different bottles seem to be pouring themselves over at a bar that is in the room, and one kind of floats over to Little Sphinx rather.
Little Sphinx accepts it, however...
I have a strange headcanon. I
apologize,
bet you Little Spout and Little Sphinx, I bet you they're the same person.
Yeah.
But
Have you
Little
ever seen them in the
Sphinx...
same room together? Think about it.
Oh, no? Little Sphinx shall point out, I'm on a little bit of a religious thing. No alcohol for me, as much as I would love this.
No,
it
the
smells
ceremony
so
is
beautiful.
He kind of just like waves a paw. Oh, the ceremony is past. Everybody is come and gone from Wati, and he kind of swirls his talons at you. Go on, take a sip.
Little Spout pretends to sip.
Give me a deception roll, you.
So much pretending.
I know.
What he's been waiting. What? Yeah.
You can't even
This is what
handle
he's
this
been
level
waiting
of dissent. Oh my god.
Oh, yo!
Ooh, nice sound
Wow.
I mean, like,
Yes, I did put sound effects on my D20s.
and as you feign your sip, not even your servants, your closest party members, your best friends, the one of which is that you are going to hell and back with, would determine, like, I mean, you guys actually think the fucking little spout's actually drinking this stuff.
Oh my god, little sprouts.
That
talking.
actually, that actually means that Steady probably is like
Yeah, the nervous monkey look, you know, like the meme, like and he smiles. There you go, there you go. Just sit on the coffee table. It'll take care of itself once you're done. And then
The bouquet is delightful, she says with a smile.
and he kind of sets his own down. You actually like he demonstrates this. He sets it down and it just kind of carts itself away. Woo! And then looks out the window again.
She
So
puts it down without even looking at it. Just
Yeah.
assuming.
And you set it down on the table and it goes away with it. Woo! It's at this point that I guess Steady is specifically like Steady. You notice that there's at least it's like I would think that like her lips aren't even like slightly wetted with alcohol or anything like that, but it's a
I
very
mean, you say that, but I imagine she probably did get it all over her fur of her face, but didn't actually drink it.
fair enough. Well, in that case, then like I mean, she's a messy drinker.
Yeah, basically.
And he looks.
She will wipe herself clean.
It's okay.
ever
You
so
don't have
slightly.
to. You don't have to guard Steady's feelings. The player knows what's going on.
And he continues to look out the window. So a boat.
Yes, I know exactly how to get around those little kids. I just need a little boat to do it with.
Well, do tell me, because they haven't let me come off those docks in ages.
And she leans in a little bit. Now, you know how that is. I tell one little curious ear, then suddenly everyone knows. And I need to get this done first so I can rub it in their faces.
Give me a diplomacy roll, you.
All right. Here comes the diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Now your final answer?
Oh, sure. I'll spend that hero point. This seems important.
Let's hear it. I see it.
Whee!
Woo!
I get a reroll.
You get a reroll.
You get a reroll. Everybody gets a new reroll. Whee! Oh, God.
Little
There
bird.
we go. That's
Hey.
better.
And he kind of everything comes with a price these days. You know, he points at you. If I hadn't expended my budget on various things today, you and I would be talking about that secret, he says, pointing an accusing talon at you, or not talon, paw at you, and looks back out. Well, if you can get out there, he says, kind of thinking. I haven't been on the lake in a while. Thinking. What's in it for me?
She inclines in the ear. Well, for one, this will be your boat. I don't mind if you take a little bit of credit for this.
Credit for what, exactly?
For getting one over on them. They've been holding us over our heads.
And
You'll be the talk of the town.
he like, kind of perks a little bit. Oh, yes. Getting one past that old wizened cleric, he says with like an air of like, fuck that guy. And just kind of gestures out. Call that
Now,
free advertising in
imagine
itself.
this.
I got the biggest damn boat in the damn harbor.
Now imagine this. I will sail your boat out with no aplomb, but when I bring it back, everyone will see it.
And he kind of smiles. I like the way you think. Though, once you get in trouble.
And then she inclines her head. I told you I have ways, I have plans. All I need is the boat, and I'm ready to go.
Well, I hope you're more than aware, he says with a smile. Those fronts don't take bribes. They're all holier than thou, he says with big quotes with his paws. Holier than thou and definitely got sticks up their asses. But
She leans in a little bit. I heard a little thing about a religious matter of importance to them. Oh, I am ready to get past them. Don't you worry.
and he kind of smiles.
The best part is that she's not lying.
Yeah. And give me your final diplomacy roll here, little Sabout.
I only have so many hero points, damn it.
I know.
Oh, well, I don't need one.
Nice. And the smile widens. Well, I'll tell you what, he says with a wide grin. Make a show of it. Make me the talk of the town, and you and I will have a little bit of a discussion. And he smiles.
Ooh, that sounds like fun. I have something to look forward to when I get back,
Oh,
he says,
certainly.
with a little coy smile.
Certainly, certainly. I hope you do a fantastic job. And he gives you like a wide smile.
Oh, I tell you that I would describe it to you, but when I come back, I'm pretty sure everybody else will be too busy telling you.
And he kind of shoes you on. And if that was all your business, go on. Here's the and he kind of snaps his paws again, and you kind of see what seems to be a set of keys floating towards you. A set of keys, probably for a boat, as it has a little boat symbol, like the top of the keys look like little golden,
Now,
really carved out.
amusingly, little Sphinx, despite looking like a Sphinx, does not have fingers. So, she instead grabs it in her teeth, but she tries to make it look like really playful. No.
Give me a deception roll, you.
And a little wink. Wink.
Let's see how cute you can make yourself look deceptively. Oh yes.
Very cute.
And the slightly tipsy Sphinx looking towards you just kind of smiles. Very cute, very cute. Now run along, go play with your toys. I'm gonna watch from here.
She looks at her friends, giving a snap of her not real fingers. You heard him. Time for me and my toys to go.
Orion will pop up to his hooves, go over to the door, and open it for everyone.
And off she goes.
Off you guys go.
I don't close the door behind me.
And as soon as we're in the elevators and the doors closed, then she smiles. Hey, that worked.
Wait,
Yeah, really well.
Do some magic testing on that thing.
Little Spell tilts her head. I am like 80% sure it's magic, and I haven't even looked at it.
He might be scrying on it.
Oh.
I know if I gave my
She
keys to
sets it down,
I'll
clink,
do.
and then she begins examining it.
And you examine it. You can detect, right? Oh, you.
Well,
roll
no,
it.
she's not doing detect magic. She's literally just trying to identify it. That's how you do that.
You identify it as a set of keys, for the most part.
Oh
They-
my god!
I mean, they seem generally mundane. As I said, there's like, there's really decorative, boaty, like, I guess symbols on each key that kind of seems to describe.
Little Spell actually
Does it
looks
have one of those
disappointed.
foam? Does it have a foam floaty on it? It's not boat keys unless it's got a foam floaty.
Oh, definitely.
A functioning foam floaty because it sucks if you drop your keys in the water.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, no!
Yes.
100%.
Little
Now,
Spot looks disappointed though because she gave 80% odds.
Okay, it doesn't matter how nice. Doesn't matter how nice of a boat you are, how expensive your yacht is. It has the same cheap looking foam thing on it.
now, aside from noticing that there probably like just doesn't seem to have any weird magical things with the roll that you got, Little Spout. It is something to note that these keys seem to be made out of, well, the adamantine. Like, they're very fancy.
Okay. I thought you were about to say either stone. I'm like, what?
It'll say these, like, we got it! Like,
That's it. We're leaving. Bye. No.
Nope, adamantine.
All right. So you're confident
Except-
he's not scrying on the keys?
I'm reasonably confident.
Oh. Well, that's very stupid of him not to do that.
Now we're
Yeah.
now we're really in trouble if he's scrying on the keys.
Ding.
But he's not.
And the elevator gets to the bottom.
All right.
All right. Well, let's do the thing, guys.
And it
So at this point, we just need to get to the boat, and we can actually just talk to the clerics and say, we're going to go look for your guys. And they're just going to let us sail away, because why wouldn't they?
Is it that simple?
I assume anyway.
I mean, we're totally on the up and up with the clerics. We haven't. Yeah, there's really literally no problem there.
All right.
That's why Little Sprout was so confident with the guy. Oh yeah, we can get past them. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, since Star Dancer is the only one who's read books about piloting a boat, she gets to pilot the boat.
Well, I mean, the first thing Little Spot's going to do is to check to see, are their crew already on the boat?
That is a good thing to
Because
check.
that's a possibility.
Well, if you recall, the clerics themselves seem to have been ushering everybody off of the boats.
I mean, Little Spot still checks because.
Yes. You guys get down to the thing, and it's actually the main stitch that you see first, who raises an eyebrow, and in the same accent
We're
that I used for the
back!
previous guy, kind of definitely like looks you guys up and down. Oh, that was fast.
Little Sprout holds her key victoriously. Do-do-do-do.
We're good at what we do.
And he blinks. Damn. Orators indeed. And he gives you like a little bit of a clap, like with his hose, like clap, 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 clap.
Well,
Thank you, thank
he thinks
you.
he's getting a very important. He thinks he's pulling one over on you. So
Ah.
Little Sprout rolls her eyes. Let him think what he wants.
No. Do tell me more. He's trying to get one over on us yet?
yes,
And he smiles.
he's trying to. He thinks that she has a brilliant plan to get past them, and then show all of you that they won't be cowed when pulling back into the here.
Well, I will be sure to tell the others to look positively cowed when you come back. And he gives a smile.
We'll see.
And he looks on over, and I mean, yeah, it's the biggest boat there.
Da, 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 da.
Do we need like special expertise to be piloting it?
And this is when the cleric kind of like scratches his head a little bit. Do you guys need a pilot for the boat? Like,
If you can afford some while we go look for your men, that would be really handy.
I mean, we've got Star Dancer.
Unless-
She's read a
Unless the
book on it.
boat apparently pilots itself. I don't know.
Is it a magic
Well,
boat? Oh
yeah,
god.
fancy.
the cleric that you guys had actually befriended and are on the up and up with would actually, I mean, you guys get this, I guess, as an award for doing that, offer to send a couple of his clerics to go help you, because as he had previously stated, some of his clerics actually did have a little bit of expertise sailing on the sea with some of their boating. That's,
Hooray! Alright, we have a crew, we have a boat, we have everything we need for
Yay.
adventure.
uh-huh.
Do we have snacks?
Oh god, we don't have everything we need for adventure.
Go back! Alright, everybody, just scrap the whole operation. Scrap it. But barring the next bit of content, I think this is a good place for us to wrap up here.
Yeah, no, this seems like a perfectly valid break point.
Yes.
We literally arrived at the next thing.
We
And-
got a freaking boat.
Yeah.
We got a boat!
You got a boat. Boom.
We got the best freaking boat.
All right. Oh, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and say bye to the stream. Bye.